All right, so hello world. This is Monday, October 19th, 2015. We're here in Las Vegas at our new campus. Good morning, Dennis.
Good morning, Ed. How are you?
Well, we're just getting started. Good morning, Rose.
Good morning.
And let's see, the weather, it's a beautiful day outside again, right?
Yes, it
is. What's the temperature there?
Right now, I think it's like 78.
That's Crystal, Rose's daughter. That's what Crystal sounds like. It's actually Rose, though.
Oh.
Right?
Yes.
It's 68 here. Are you in your office, Rose?
No, I'm out on the floor.
Okay, can you walk into the screen and say hello to everybody, please?
Okay.
Oh.
Hold on, Rose. Let's see. Okay. Oh, hold on. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of that. There we go. Give me one. Turn the light on.
Yeah.
Give me it.
Hold on.
There you are.
There she is.
Good morning, Vegas.
Morning. So she's saying good morning, everyone.
How are you?
All right.
Okay, so, all right. So enough of the fun, right? Everybody pick up your pitchforks. Back to work. So, okay, this week we are doing Google what? Docs. Google Docs. So Google Docs is part of what? Drive, right. Okay. So everybody should have a page in their book. If you don't, please create a page in your book that says Google.
In your tablet. Where's your tablet that I gave you?
We have something called a page called Google Apps, and on that page put a
Everybody should have a composition
cross, an X, sideways X.
page called Google Drive.
Isn't that the video?
A folder?
I think from now on I'll start saying
Composition book that I gave you.
draw
Create a page in the composition.
large
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Google Drive.
on your page. Okay, and so what are some of the 8 Google apps that we do? Mike, what's one of them?
Calendar.
Calendar, good.
Okay.
Okay, next, Dave.
Voice.
Voice. Okay, Robert.
In the composition book.
Like what?
Stephanie.
These are your apps.
Plus.
Your apps. This is what you want you to have.
Okay, now we do this.
He wants them to draw that.
Okay, let's see, Ernie. YouTube.
It's just like a design with all your
Okay,
apps right here.
Aretha. Maps, good.
So you just write them.
And Wayne. Drive. Good.
Yeah, I can't
So those are the 8 apps that we do.
see it works.
And key things to know is why do we do these? One reason is because it's free. When we do it, we ultimately do Google Apps because it's the cloud. And all businesses are moving to the cloud. All businesses are moving to the cloud. Why are all businesses moving to the cloud?
It's free, they don't have to use them.
Okay. Well, some people might not think it's easy.
Updated frequently.
Well, that's why Google keeps records. Okay. Why are businesses going to the clouds? To the cloud. Okay, they're going to the cloud. Well, what does collaboration do? What does it make it do for your business? More customers, more profit. Okay? That's why they're doing it, because they want to make more money. How do you make more money? Okay? More. What do all businesses care about?
Making money.
Fundamentally, they're there to make money. The cloud equals money. How? More customers, less overhead. You can be more efficient. How? Well, Ernie mentioned collaboration. You don't have to waste time. So in the old days, so yesterday, the November issue of Chowtoot, not yesterday, this morning at about 1:30 a.m., the November issue of Chowtoot was sent to the printers, which is why I'm wearing my glasses, because my contacts were on yesterday from about 5 in the morning till 2 o'clock in the morning. And we have in Vino Veritas tonight, so I got to get my eye back, recuperate. But we sent Chowtoot to the printer in Texas this morning. How? How do we do it?
Email.
Electronically, through the cloud. It's a huge file. Huge file. So we sent it. Now, in the old days, say 10 years ago, how did you do it? You'd have to send them a drive of some sort. A zip drive, thumb drive. Before that, you'd maybe send a little, I can't remember what they're called. What? No, that was too small. But they're little hard drive-like devices. You plug them in, little storage things. You have to send that. We didn't do it. And before that, 100 years ago, what did they do? They wanted to print a magazine.
IBM stamps or lithograph?
Something. You know, you have some way you would create these things, and they would make plates. They take pictures of it, lay it out, they take pictures, and then they turn those into printing plates. Now, that's all done electronically. So we can be producing a magazine that goes everywhere in the U.S., 12,000 copies mailed out or delivered in the United States, and we don't ever have to even know who's at the print place. Does that help the printer make money? How does the printer make more money because of the cloud?
They're faster.
They can have customers in Las Vegas. If we had to make these things and mail them pieces of paper, okay, yeah, it's really fast. And how does it save money and overhead? Well, this company that we're using to print with, when you upload the file, there's software on there made by Kodak that goes through and checks to make sure it's laid out right. And it'll come back and say, okay, did you know on this page you have a low resolution picture? Yes, it goes on. And as long as all the pages are laid out right, then it says, okay, your order has been accepted. It's right. Now we're going to do a thing, we're going to send you a proof via email. If you approve the proof, we'll print it. And so what now happens for printing companies is they can get the job on Monday. Get a proof done, get the customer to approve the proof, and have the job completely finished by Friday. 10 years ago, that was just unheard of to be able to do it like that. How is it that we benefit because of the cloud when it comes to printing magazines? Saves time, but also we don't now need to just use the printer here. Now there's competition. So we're having more copies printed than we did before, and it's costing less. Like several thousand more copies. And it's costing about $1,000 less than it was before. Okay? So why do we do Google Apps? Because it's the cloud. Who cares about the cloud? All businesses care about the cloud. Why do they care about the cloud? Because they want to do what?
Make more money.
Make more money. They want to make more money, and the cloud enables them to have more customers and to be more efficient with customers. Now, Google, why do we use Google? Why don't we use Apple? Why don't we use a whole bunch of different companies? Why do we use Google?
First button.
It does that. That's what everything else is. And then next is
Incognito. Okay, well, we don't use it for that reason. Why do we use Google? Well, there's other things that are free. Okay, Google is a big company. We have reason to believe that they're going to be here 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. And wouldn't it be better to learn a skill and practice it, refine it for 10, 20 years, as opposed to having to learn a new skill every year because the old one didn't work anymore? So if we learn to use Google, as Google spends money to improve, we'll always be out there in front. We'll be safe. Okay, Google is also safe. Why? What if they weren't safe? Would anybody do business with them? Yeah, they would be gone.
So you would say, why do you Google say because it's safe?
Well, that's just another reason. Number one reason is because it's a big company that's going to be around. Because it's a big company that's going to be around, they have to do things to be thinking, where do they want to be 10, 20 years from now? As an example of that, in Silicon Valley, Google financed a thing called the Singularity University. A guy named Ray Kurzweil is there. Ray Kurzweil is a futurist. Something was just published on Huffington Post. I might have shared it with everyone, saying by the year 2030, we will start having nanobots implanted in our brain that will make us godlike. Will seem like God. Okay, because we're going to be smarter, funnier, able to do more stuff. Let's see if I can pull up a picture of it. It's not coming up quickly, so I'll find and make sure it's posted on Google Plus. So Google's thinking 20, 30 years into the future, and they hire top people to help them do that. That's the kind of company that we want to be associated with if we don't want to have to keep learning new skills, if we want to refine the skills that we know. And over time, we'll just keep pulling away from other people who don't know how to use the cloud. Another great thing about Google is it's free. They're always updating. Those are some of the reasons we do it. Another reason is they have a suite of apps, a whole bunch of apps, and they're designed to work together. So this is kind of like Google's like an end-to-end solution. Oh, you want to be able to communicate with people? Good. We've got this thing called Gmail. Oh, we forgot one. Chrome. Okay, Chrome. So you want to get on the internet? We've got an app for you called Chrome. You want to communicate with people? We've got text communication in Gmail. We have voice communication. In Google Plus, we have communication by texting, by typing, texting, by voice, by video. We have that. Oh, we're talking about videos. You want to save videos, you want to watch videos. We have an app for that. You want to keep track of your time. You want to keep track of where you've been or where you're going. We've got that. How about a place to store all your records? We have that. You're going to write an email or you want to attach something to it like a document. We have that in here in Docs. Okay? So they have a whole suite. It's an end-to-end solution. There's nothing really missing from this. If you want to go into business, the stuff that we're learning here, you don't need anything more than this. don't need anything more than to know Google Apps to be able to go into business. No matter what business you're in, for running business, I'm not saying you can make pizzas because you know these. You have to have the equipment to make pizzas. But to run the business to make pizzas, to order product, to communicate, to do marketing, sales, customer service, accounting, all of that stuff is part of the suite of Google Apps. And it's free. It's free.
And at the middle is cloud.
Well,
Sort of hold the whole cloud deal.
yeah, I mean, I think if we were looking at this instead of straight on, if we turned it sideways, it might look like this. So here's the apps, voice, Chrome, Gmail, etc. And this is the cloud.
That's the better one.
Okay? This is a two-dimensional image of this, right? What would this look like if you turned it that way and you saw 2 dimensions? It would look like this, right? This looks like that. If you just have one eye open and you don't know it's a hand, it looks like it's flat, right? Okay. So every week when we start doing this, we go back over all of the Google Apps so people get that they work together. And really the way this thing works is Maps interact with Calendar. On your calendar, there's a place that says, where are you having a meeting? Do you want to have a map? So you invite people to a meeting, you tell them where it is, there's a little thing they can click on that gives them the map. On your maps, we learned you can store files, right? In the description thing, you can store. Last week we learned that you can use the map to do your employment planning process. And when you pick out those locations, in the description box, you can put links to files and folders that are on your drive or that are on YouTube. In Maps, you can connect it so that, or in Voice, you can connect things with Google Voice so that people get maps of where to go. Typically now you'll see if you do a Google search of something on a map, it'll show you the map. There'll be a little thing that has a little telephone on it, like if you want to call them, one click, you call. Does that call go through the phone system? When you're calling through Google, does that go through the phone system? Does it go through mobile? No. It's just internal. Okay? So we have maps in Gmail. In Gmail, you can attach a map. You can send somebody a copy of a map in Gmail. Maps, you have videos in Maps, right? Street View, do you think Street View is live? When you go into Street View, do you think they send a car, there's a car wait for you to push the thing and go down the street? No. That's stored using YouTube technology. And Google Plus Maps is part of that. And so then all of these things, all of these apps work together. So you form like a network, and they're all interconnected. What is the benefit of that? One benefit is if you learn to use one, it makes learning all of the other ones easy. It's not like, well, I have an Apple iPhone, but I use Microsoft Word. What's the software? What's the version of Chrome, or what is like Chrome on a smartphone? What's it called? What's the operating system? Android. Who owns Android? Google. All smartphone applications are designed to be compatible with this. I just got an app, got notice that Google has a thing for YouTube Studio, which is just like being at my desk I can access all of the YouTube videos that I have and create them, things like that. So we use Google as opposed to other things because it has a suite that does everything we need to do. Number one. Number two, you learn one and you know almost everything about all of the other ones. Three, they're free, they're collaborative, they do things in real time. And yeah, that's basically it. That's why we use Google+. But ultimately, it comes back to it helps us get jobs. It helps us get employed because all businesses can benefit by being on the cloud. Our opportunity, and when Nolan Bushnell was at the school, he made it very clear. You know what, guys? We're at one of those points in time where everybody is equal. Everybody has a chance to be equal because the cloud is something that's new. It's relatively new. This stuff is new. This is a few years old. And when you go out there, when you leave here, or you leave the California campus and you go out there, you're going to find people don't know the cloud. If everybody that gets a job in an office knows how to type, are you going to get a job in an office just because you know how to type? Okay. If you don't know how to type, are you going to get a job? No, because you need to know how to type. But just because you can type, are you going to get a job? Why not? Huh? Well, let's say everybody else only knows how to type. No, you won't, because they have a lot more experience. If you walk out here saying, I just learned to type, do you think that the boss is going to think that you're the same as someone who says, I've been typing for 10 years? Right. They're going to think that guy knows more.
But he might give you a chance if you know.
If you just know how to type? Why?
I mean, because the next man might not know how to type.
No, well, we're not talking about the next man. We're talking about all the people who do know how to type. If you're competing with those guys. Because, like, remember, you go into most jobs, they don't say we're going to hire everybody who can do the job. What do they say?
Yes.
We're going to hire a few people or one person. And you have to be better than everyone else. You have to have something. Okay. So, now, you need to know more than typing, right? Because jobs aren't just typing. Okay? So you need to know how to use a computer. You need to know Office. In California, they do Microsoft Office. They've always done it. They do it. It's a good idea to do it. We don't do it because we're starting back here. We have other things that we need to put our energy into. And learning Microsoft Office is much harder than Google and Google Docs, spreadsheets. That does a lot more. When we do certain parts of the magazine, we can't use Google. It's just not designed for that level of stuff. Google does, I say it does 90% of what you need 90% of the time. Dennis, who uses Office more, will say it's 95, 95. 95% of what you need 95% of the time. Doesn't matter whether it's 90% or 80 or 95. Google Docs does most of the things you need to do most of the time. And it has some advantages over Word. Like what?
Word you have to save every time.
Okay, that's a very good one.
That's a very
You
good
have
one.
to save things in Word. So people here might not have this concept of saving. When you create a Google document, do you have to save it? Do you ever save it, Aretha? You do? How?
You go in the side. Put in your documents.
You don't save. You think you do. If you're in Word, if you're doing Microsoft Word, you start a document,
Saves automatically. Oh, my.
Microsoft does not save automatically unless you put a thing on there that says save. But most people don't do that because right when you have a stream of conscious, you're really doing well, all of a sudden it says, oh, we're saved.
It's gone.
Okay, so So that's one advantage of Google Docs over Microsoft Office. Word is that you don't ever have to save. It's easier to learn because there's less to learn. It works fundamentally the same as these other things. So you learn something in Gmail, it will help you learn Docs. So, we're going to do Google Docs this week, and but you're not going to get a job in Office just because you can know Office. Why? Why won't you get a job just because you know Office? Same reason as typing, because you're competing with people who've been doing Office for 10 or 20 years. Okay, so you go in, you look the same, you act the same, everything is the same about you, your typing speed is the same, except your personality is the same, everything's the same except you've been doing Microsoft Office for 10 years and you just got graduated from Larson. Who's going to get the job?
For 10 years.
For 10 years. Why? Because the boss is going to be thinking, you have more experience. If something comes up, you're going to have more experience of knowing it. You don't have a lot of experience if you just learned it. Okay? So you need to know how to type. You need to know how to use a computer. You need to know how to do Office. But it's not enough to get you a job. Here, the idea is you get a job because you know something that they don't know. And what is that? The cloud. Okay? But we have to learn the cloud. You can't just walk in and say, I know how to spell cloud. I know what the cloud is. Because what does the employer want? What are two things that all employers want?
Make money and save money.
Make money and save money. So you have to be able to articulate how your knowledge of the cloud is going to help them make money and save money. And that's a thing that, unfortunately, today, in the year 2015, you have to teach yourself. In the year 2013, Ray Kurzweil says you'll just take a pill that has a bunch of nanobots in it, and it has encoded, programmed on those nanobots, how to do the cloud. And these are made out of little DNA things. And they're programmed so that you swallow them, they get into your bloodstream, they attach to the neurons in your brain, and they have information and they connect to the internet. That's the future. You won't need this. Yeah. It's the blue pill. It's a pill, yeah. It will be. So who's planning to be around in the year 2030? You're not? Okay, so everybody except Ernie. You're not planning to be around, Ernie? Okay, good. Okay. So that's the world that we're going to. And it could be very scary because I don't think these pills are going to be free. So Ray Kurzweil in his little story in Huffington Post said, so here's what it's going to be like. I'm going to be walking down the street. I'm going to see Larry Page, one of the founders of Google. Let's see. There we go. The Italian American Club in Phoenix. So you're going to see Larry Page walking towards you, and you're going to say to myself, my God, there's one of the founders of Google walking towards me. I better think of something clever to say. Okay, what did you say? So what you're going to do is you're going to go use your brain to go to the internet and find out something, not a chip, nanobots, little tiny microscopic things that are smaller than neurons that attach themselves to a neuron. It's like a chip, but there'll be billions of them. Right? Like we have 86 billion neurons in our brains. So you could have 1 billion of these little nanobots that attach and they hook up to the internet. And so all of a second, in a second, you know everything you need to know about Larry Page. Oh, he's a Laker fan. But hey, what do you think about Lamar Odom? Larry, wasn't that weird? Okay? So that's what the future is going to be like. If you understand how the cloud works, do you think you'll be better prepared for the future? Yeah. And I think it could be very scary because let's say it costs $1 million to have these things in your brain. If somebody has $1 million, would they do it?
Yeah.
If you would be godlike?
Yes.
This is more valuable than a blue job.
I pay more than that.
Okay, so what if you had $500,000? Would you spend? Would you borrow? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What if you have $10,000? Well, where are you going to get? Who's going to lend you the money?
You get something.
Okay. So probably in the year 2050, everybody who's rich, if we think there's inequality right now between rich and poor, just imagine what inequality would be like if there's some people, if the law today was some people can read and write and other people can't. Would life be different today?
Yes.
It would be really different today if some people could read, were allowed to be able to read, and other people weren't. And the people who could read, they also got to use computers and the internet. The people who couldn't read didn't get to use computers and the internet. It would be a very not good life, right? You know, what would you do if you were one of the people who couldn't read and didn't know how to use the internet? No. What could you do if they said the law is you don't get to? And you become Robin Hood. Right. Okay, so this is all just a warm-up or just a reinforcement of why this Google Apps class is so important. We're not going to get jobs competing with people who've done things for long periods of time. And as Nolan Bushnell said, this is a unique time in history where everybody's starting equal. Nobody knows how to use the cloud because it didn't exist very long ago. And even though it did exist, internet speeds weren't fast enough, they weren't cheap enough, smartphones weren't good enough to use it. Now is the time. So now is the time, if you take the time to learn these,
We'll be on an even plan.
we'll be the field will be tipped in our favor. Because now, can you type? Yeah, I can type. Do you know Office? Yeah, I know Office. But now do you know, what do you know that nobody else knows? Well, I know the cloud, and the cloud is going to make you more money. And if you do what Dwayne did and does while he's here, if you practice helping other people learn, when you go into the place, in your interview, you can say, I know the cloud, and I can help you. I can help teach everyone else how to use the cloud. What is that? Because at Larson, that's what we had to do. We did this do one, learn one, teach one, where we all practiced helping other people learn how to do it. So I've been doing that for a long time. Just give me a shot. I promise I won't disappoint you. Put on my Idaho voice. Okay, so this week we're doing Google Docs. Docs is a sub-app of what? What is it, a sub-app of in California? Drive. Right, it's a sub-app of Drive. Does it say Docs on here anywhere? Yeah, it says it right here, but it says it's a sub-app of Drive. Okay? What does Drive do besides Docs? What is it fundamentally? Why do they call it Drive? Why don't they call it keyboard? Why don't they call it type? Because it's like a virtual hard drive. What's on a hard drive? Storage, right, exactly. Storage is all your files. So Google Drive started as a way to store all of your documents on the cloud. Why? Who cares about that? What's the benefit of that, Ernie?
Businesses.
Save your information.
Why would you save it on the cloud instead of on your hard drive on your computer?
Because it's a hard drive.
Okay. And hard drive goes out, it's on the cloud. What happens if you're not sitting at your computer? How valuable is the stuff that's on your computer if you can't access it?
Someone else can someone else can be there.
Well, that's bad, right? Okay. Unless you're referring to, well, I have a personal assistant who I pay to sit there to send me information because I'm not at my computer. It's all the stuff's on my computer. I'm out there doing stuff. Somebody needs to be accessing my stuff. So now I have to pay somebody to do that. Well, with the drive, you don't need to pay anybody because no matter where you go,
Get on your phone.
it could be on your phone, Chromebook, laptop. With the cloud, you can access your data from anywhere. And then it's not a big step to say, well, if I can access my files, my Word files, say, why not create a product that I can create my own files without having Word? So that's why they created Docs and spreadsheets. And then they did one other sub-app of Drive that we do study in here. What is that?
Google Maps.
No, it's part of Drive. Forms, exactly. See, when Dwayne started here, it was, I don't know if I can do this. Now he's boom, boom, boom. Right on top of Forms. Forms is the database. It's an easy way to get data where you can manipulate it and do all sorts of things. So that's part of Drive 2. So if you have a form, what kind of form do you use for? What's one example what a form can be used for?
Test.
Tests, like we do on our tests, scheduling, new customers, customer loyalty programs, questionnaires, all kinds of things your forms can be used for.
Employment be like on that.
Yeah, you can create an employment app for it. You want to hire people, just fill out our form. Okay, so now, okay, so does anybody have any questions about why we care about the cloud and Google, et cetera? Does anybody have any questions about that?
Everybody got it. Everybody.
Go to hell, Google drawings too.
Yeah, they do. They do. We try to keep it down to 8 things so that no matter when you start here, the 16-week program, you're going to do everything twice. But Google has a lot more than 16 apps. But what we learn is if you really want to learn something, you have to remember it. And it's easier to remember 8 things than it is 16 things. If we could get it down to 4 things, doing it 4 times, we would. But these apps are just so good, we couldn't get it to less than 8. However, the key is to remember it, you have to do what? Yeah. Okay, because what happens with your connectome?
And then build more.
Right. Right. So as they say, every time you read it, or write it, or say it, you make another copy in your brain. And that's just making the connections between your neurons stronger. That's how people learn how to play music, for example, right? Or remember to do poems. You start out with one word, you remember that word, then what you do? Then you do another word, and then you learn tricks like we did with the memory palace, right? Of how can you remember, well, what word comes after that word? You can start picturing a story in your head. And if you can picture a story in your head, now you're trying to remember words and the story, and they're helping you remember it. It's not just doing words. That's why, for example, people can remember like Mark Antony's speech. We had how many people do it here, Phyllis, since you've been around?
5 or 6.
Is it that long?
I can think of 5. Manual. We had
Nowadays.
Saul and where you read this. 5 guys I can think of. That did. So it's about 1,000 words. Mark Antony's speech is about 1,000 words. Yeah. It's about 1,000 words. People can remember that. But what if, would it be easy to take pi, right? Pi. It's a number that doesn't ever repeat. There's no pattern to these digits here. You take it out several thousand characters and it still doesn't have a pattern. There's no precise number for what pi equals. Pi is very important in our lives, though, because it's how you tell the circumference of a circle and the area of a circle, etc. But nobody, it's almost impossible for anybody to say, okay, here's pi 3.1416 and go all out and name 1,000 characters. Mark Antony's speech is about 1,000 words, not characters. There's only 10 characters. You would think it would be easier to be able to memorize 1,000 numbers in a row, right? It's not. Why? Huh? Well, because when you remember, like Mark Antony's speech, there's a story that goes along with it. You can picture the scene. Brutus is an honorable man. That has meaning to you. 27184320916543805. If you try to repeat that, there's just numbers. Okay? So the point is, if you want to learn docs, you have to use it, not just docs. Any of these apps or anything we do here, you have to use it, and you have to remember how to use it in order to use it. So a lot of it comes back to here, meaning you guys, when we're not in class, doing these things. So now let's go to, how do we get to Google Docs? Let's everybody go to Google Docs. How do we get there?
Number 9 grid. 9 grid. Then go to your drive. Then go to new.
Okay, so now here I'm on Google Plus. How do I get to Google Drive? Okay, 9 square grid.
9 square grid.
Okay. And then I click on what? Drive. Okay.
Then
So
go.
now I'm on Drive.
What I just showed you. Brother just showed you. Same thing.
Okay, so Dennis, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good.
Right. Now, next do what? Go to what now? Yeah, go to new. There you go.
Okay, now. Okay, so now, as Dennis said, the next thing is if I want to create a document, what do I do?
Now go to
Okay, so if I just want to create it in my root directory, what's the root directory? What does that mean? What's the root directory?
just your
That's your basic directory. And my drive is your root directory.
I just showed you.
My drive is the root directory. If you want to put it in your root directory, what do you do to create a document?
Yeah.
Go to new. Right. Go to new.
You go to docs.
Right. You go to new.
You know how to do that, right?
And you click on Google Docs.
You go to docs.
Okay. That's how easy it is and fast it is to launch.
Advance. This one is you click this one new and then you go down.
Now, do you think it's that fast to load Word? No, it's It's not that fast to load quick. Okay, so now I'm in my Google Docs. For best practices, what do I do first? How do I name it? Correct, name it. How do I do that? Untitled document, right. Click on Untitled Document, and what do I do?
Go ahead.
I do anything. Just type in whatever I want. Now, here's an important thing to do, though. Unlike some people, you should keep your account forever.
Right. Title it whatever you want to, Ralph.
Keep this account forever.
Take practice.
Any documents you want to think in terms of, I might be playing this 5 years from now. So one of the things that I do, if it's anything having to do with Chow Tutti, the first 2 letters of the name of the file that I create start with what? CT. Okay? Because then if I ever want to find it, I go to the search in Google, in Drive, go to the search thing, I type in CT, and then I start doing something else. So when you're creating names, think in terms of, if I want to find this 5 years from now, what do I need to do? Well, you should have a structure so it makes it easy to find it.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so I give it a name. I would say October 19, 2015.
So he wants the date, so he wants the
How do I save that name? Yeah, exactly. I just hit enter, and that's the name. Is that file saved? Why? How do I know? How do I know that?
In there, test on whatever.
Let's say I close the tab. Now what?
But see, he's doing it for them first. So there's a little bit different.
It should be or will be.
Will be.
Right.
Nowhere.
So when I have so many files, I go to find it, like on that thing that I just did, I just go down to recent, and it's right there.
I think here.
Yeah, right here.
Okay. So there's my file. Now what do I need to do to start?
Right.
Okay, what do I need to do now to get started? Push the cursor.
Yeah, exactly. Start typing.
Or typing. Okay, that's how easy it is to create a document in Word. I mean, not Word, in Docs. What if I decide I want to put this document in a different file, different folder? Okay. So here are some of the things that we need to be able to do.
You can go to file.
Okay, so some of the things we need to be able to do is, if somebody's sharing a file with us, what should we do? Share. Does somebody share it with us? My file, I share it with you.
Share it with me. Right. Share it with me.
Make a copy, right.
Mm-hmm.
Another 2 points for Theo. Make a copy. Make a copy of the file. What is Google going to call the copy? Yeah, it's gonna, so if I want to make a copy, how do I do it?
You go to file.
File,
Scroll down.
scroll down to make a copy, and it says, okay, here's the name I'm going to give it, unless you want to give it something else. I'm going to call it copy of whatever the file name was.
Everybody see that? Okay.
Now, if you created the file and shared it with me and I made a copy, where does the copy go? Now, where does it go? It goes to my drive. That's where it's going to go. Now, one of the things, there's a little box that says share it with the same people. So if you made a file, you shared it with me, I'm going to make a copy. I can decide whether to share the copy with you or not. Okay? That's a thing that Google does to make it easy for people. So I'm going to just hit OK. Now, my copy went where? Yeah. Where's your copy? Okay. Where's your copy stored on my drive? How do I find the copy you shared with me? How do I access it?
You're going to share it with.
Exactly. So if I
Or under
have a file,
one way to do it.
if you shared a file with me and I wanted to find that file, I would go to shared with me if I didn't know the name of it. If I knew the name of it, I would just type it into the search drive box here. But if I don't know the name, or I just want it to be lazy or easy or fast, I click on shared with me. And it shows all the files that are shared with me.
Well, see, this screen has a lot in yours, so you don't have anything on it. But if you want to,
Now, one of the things I can do, if you share a file with me, is the Wayne has a file called Barbershop. I can right click and I can add that file to my drive. Now what do I not have to worry about Dwayne doing? Correct. Exactly. So I just added that file to my drive, and when I do that, it comes up and it says, okay, well, where do you want to move it to? And then I put in wherever I can push a new spot. Okay? Why do we care about that?
that's why. No.
We'll find more out about that tomorrow. Okay, Dennis, we're at time.
Okay. So go to new. Okay, now go back to. Okay. Now, okay.
Okay, so we're done with our time for today, everyone.
Hold on a second.
So we'll pick this up tomorrow.
Okay.
Our goal is to feel very comfortable using Docs by Thursday. Okay?
Okay, Ed, thank you.
Thanks, California. Thank you for being there.
Okay.